Hi everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to my channel. At the start of this new year, Hugging Face has just released SmolAgents. SmolAgents is a very lightweight library written in Python that enables you to create agents with the power of LLMs. In this video, we are going to install this SmolAgents locally and then we will see how it works. Before we do that, let's have a quick look and revisit what exactly we mean by agents and how they work. If you look at this diagram, which is an animated one from Hugging Face itself, it shows an overview of what exactly agentic software is. At the very start, there is a user query, which is then given to system prompt where LLM is sort of thinking, what do I do with it? So LLM is going about, okay, that let's solve this task in an iterative way with thought, action, and observation. Now, this thought, action, and observation is a very common, uh, I would say, convenience which is being used by OpenAI, by Anthropic, and a lot of other model providers, even agentic software providers, where they are using this in a JSON format to provide a structured input and output to the model and to the agents. Now, when we say agents with LLM, these LLMs have no clue, no idea about the current data and the real time data. They have been trained on a huge corpus of data in the past. If we want to integrate these LLMs with the current applications or maybe something like live web search, or we want to give them the current weather, we have to use something called as agent. We cannot even do it with RAG or retrieval augmented generation. So we have to have um, agents or AI agents in order to give real-time data to these LLMs, and that is where these sort of tools, SmolAgents and a lot of other come very handy. The way they work is more or less similar. This SmolAgents tries to differ from the rest in terms of its simplicity because the logic for agents fits in few lines of code and they have done a lot of abstractions on top of it. Another thing is that they support local models as well as API based models. API based models are not only from OpenAI but also from Hugging Face, and they also have introduced something called as code agents. Code agents are the agents that write their actions in code, whereas in rest of the tools, agents are used to write code. So this is the difference between this and rest of it. Now, very early projects in my trials so far, I have seen lot of hallucinations, lot of false data being produced by this new code agents technique, but I'm more than sure that this is going to improve as the time passes because the idea looks good. Because in the code agent, the LLM engine writes its action in code, and this approach, as per Hugging Face, is demonstrated to work better than the current industry practice of letting the LLM output a dictionary of the tools it wants to call. But we will see. Okay, now we know what a agent is, what this SmolAgent library is, and how exactly it works, as you can see on your screen. I will be using it with Ollama, which is one of the easiest and fastest tool to run large language models locally. We already have covered Ollama in heaps of videos, so I'm not going to go into that detail. Please search my channel if you want to learn more about it. So we are going to integrate this SmolAgent library with Ollama. So let's get it installed. Before I do that, let me thank Massed Compute who are sponsoring the VM and GPU for this video. If you're looking to rent a GPU on very affordable prices, I will drop the link to their website in video's description with a discount coupon code of 50%, which you can readily get from video's description. This is my Ubuntu system and this is my GPU card NVIDIA RTX A6000 with 48 GB of VRAM courtesy Massed Compute. Let me begin by creating a virtual environment with Conda. And this is done. Next up, let's install this SmolAgents and accelerate. And this is just a pip command to install them. Accelerate is because it is being used of couple of tools. Shouldn't take too long. And this is installed. It will take around couple of minutes, by the way. Okay, so now I already have Ollama installed, as you can see here, and I have two models. We are going to use this Llama 3.2 model. If you don't know how to install Ollama and how to download these models, please search my channel. I already have done heaps of videos on it. Okay, let me show you how these agents work. I already have some code files which I'm going to show you, and I will explain what is happening there. Let me open it in my VS Code editor. So I have created these two files which contain a very simple code to run tools with the help of these small agents, and this is a full agent which you can create readily. So first file is a small code where you can see that I am using a code agent to create a code. All I'm doing is I'm importing these libraries. Once these are imported, I'm specifying the model, which is my local model, Llama 3.2. Make sure that you put it in this format, and then don't put any API base, otherwise it will not work. And then I'm instantiating that code agent LLM, and then I am running this with this prompt. Could you give me 118th number in the Fibonacci sequence? So let me go back and then run this, and then you will see that how the agent goes through all the loop which I earlier showed you in that diagram. You can ignore this warning. There you go. The first one, it is using the Llama 3.2 local model here. It is thinking, and then it is just checking, okay, this is a Python code, it is executing that code, if it works or not. So it says that error, it got an error, so it is going to try again. This is a good thing about these agents, that they keep reiterating until they get it right or until they run out of options. There you go. So it has created another one. Now you see it was talking about some Shanghai or something which has nothing to do with this. This is a thing which I have found out. It is still not production ready in that sense. It is doing web search, which I didn't even mention in my tools. There you go. But it has come up eventually with this, and then it has also told us what exactly it did. So you see there is a lot of thought process which went up, lot of hallucinations, lot of false positives. Anyway, but eventually it has managed to run that, which is cool. Okay, so let me now show you another example. This one is to get the weather. Now here I'm just going to go with my own city. So I'm just going to say what is the weather like in Sydney. But if you go up again, we're importing those libraries. I have commented out this API base because it just gives us an error. I'm just actually going to remove it altogether, and you can just leave it as blank API key, or you could put anything there. And then this is the weather function which we have defined, and this makes it a tool. So this is an example where you can even give your own function, or you could just integrate it or interface it with your own application. It depends upon you. So this tool decorator just makes this as a tool function, as a tool, this whole get weather function, which is primarily just taking in some typed data types and then some doc string, which is primarily guiding the LLM, which is Llama 3.2 in this case, that it's a tool, and this is what it's going to do. Okay, and then once, and you can of course, I'm just mimicking it, you can of course put it in your own function. So when I run this function here, the weather one, let's wait for it. You can put in your API keys and all that stuff. There you go. You see, it is using all that stuff, and it has done the iterations on it. There you go. So this is how you can create your own function, and then you can put it in there. As I said earlier, you don't have to use Ollama based models. You can use API based model. You can even interface it with Hugging Face. Now in production environment, I would highly suggest either you, if you want to use a local model, use a full model instead of quantized one, or at least use Q8 quantization to get proper results. Because these open source models, they have started to work with good with agentic software, but still the quantized version doesn't go too well. So that is why either go with API based models, or if you want to use local models, go with either full model or full precision model, or with a good quant, which could be QA. So that's it. I just wanted to give you this whole overview. I might be covering a bit more this tool because it looks quite good to me in the future. And I will drop the link to it in video description. Play around with it. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps. Thank you for watching.